Welcome to Ladders, where we break down the guys rising up your fantasy football waiver wires and the guys that we would drop to bring them aboard in the middle of this playoff push. And we're going to start with one guy who's going to be a hot commodity on the waiver wire. It's grim out there if you're looking for running back help, but the New Orleans Saints have a rookie who might be due. That is former Kansas Jayhawk Devin Neal, 3% owned. You have him in the Rhode Island Scumbag League, sniped from under my nose. I hate the fact that our friends all watch this stupid podcast. So, yeah. Do you want Devin Neal on your roster, where he already is, or would you like Cleveland Browns rookie Dylan Sampson, also 3% owned?
I'll take Devin Neal here. I think that he's going to have more opportunity. He doesn't have another electric rookie in his way right now. Quinshon Judkins is not going anywhere. So in this case, I will take the man with opportunity, which would be Devin Neal.
I like what Sampson's bringing to the table. We saw a very clear directive from the Cleveland Browns with Shedeur Sanders, where if you're in trouble, ditch it quick, ditch it to someone near the line of scrimmage. Do not run backwards. Do not lose 15 yards on the sack. And that resulted in the Dylan Sampson 66-yard touchdown run, where he got the ball 5 yards behind the line of scrimmage and just took off. So the ceiling there is very high, but like you mentioned, the floor pretty low. Quinshon Judkins very heavily ahead of him on that depth chart. A lot of home run ability, but he's not going to get the same amount of touches, whether those handoffs or maybe even targets that Devin Neal will with Alvin Kamara. Maybe missing a few more weeks. And if you're the New Orleans Saints, why would you rush him back? The season's lost anyway. Right. See what you got. All right, next guy up, Zonovan Bam Knight. Doing some work for the Arizona Cardinals, a perfectly cromulent team, if very uninteresting. Yaj, do you want Devin Neal? Do you want Bam Knight?
In the spirit of preparing for the weeks ahead, I'm going to roll with Devin Neal once again. It sounds like Bam Knight is about to be usurped in his backfield within the next week or two. Trey Benson will be coming back. So once again, in this case, I'm going on sheer volume here, and I'm going to stick with Neal rather than trying to figure out the timeshare in Arizona.
The one nice thing about Knight is that he is getting a lot of passing reps and he's getting a lot of goal line reps. Not that that's really meant to buoy him, especially with Trey Benson coming back as the more effective runner. Right. But it does bode well for him staying in the rotation, staying in that platoon. He's going to see his target share go down quite a bit, but 9 targets, 8 catches his last 2 games, a couple rushing touchdowns. So he's a guy I like to keep on the roster. I don't know if I would drop him if I had him and pick up Devin Neal. But at the same time, if both guys are on my waiver wire, I think I want the more stable floor of a Devin Neal type versus the kind of hit or miss touchdown dependency of a Bam Knight. And finally, guy we talked about last week is maybe being your fantasy savior, about to be dropped back into a 3-way platoon with Bucky Irving coming back in the mix. Sean Tucker, a bit of a frustrating week, but it was a bad week for everyone in Tampa Bay in week 12. Guys, do you want Tucker, part of that Hydra in Tampa Bay, or do you want Devin Neal, who might be the undisputed RB1 in New Orleans?
Oh, this feels so gross, but I don't want anything to do with that 3-headed monster that's going to be in Tampa Bay. And let's keep in mind that 3-headed monster might be without their starting quarterback in Baker Mayfield, who went down Sunday night with an injury, and the Sunday afternoon with an injury himself. So 3-headed monster, possibly not your starting quarterback. This sounds awful, but I'm going to take Neal here and his opportunity over what we have with Sean Tucker, although Sean Tucker is the more talented player of the two.
Would agree there. We know what Todd Bowles wants out of Bucky Irving. He is the undisputed RB1 when healthy, getting a ton of carries, getting a lot of routes to the backfield. Tucker could stick around, but Rashad White was the more effective runner in week 12. And Tucker only ran 2 routes out of the backfield. So it's very easy to see his role getting minimized. Maybe he's only going to get about 20% of the offensive snaps, if that, once Bucky Irving is healthy. Whereas a guy like Devin Neal, just because there is no one else in that Saints lineup, and because Kellen Moore needs to see who his contributors can be moving forward after the Saints team, at least theoretically, sheds a bunch of veteran contracts and starts fresh from the beginning. I like Neal more than Sean Tucker right now, which is wild because after last we were like, oh my God, this guy might be the savior to your fantasy team. No, wrong, incorrect. the Bucks free fall continues, and it's taking down Sean Tucker with it.
We also were privy to the fact that he was coming back week 13. As of last week, it was still very much open when he was coming back, Bucky, that is. So now that we got the clarity that it's going to be week 13, I think that makes our decision a lot easier as well.
All right.